Hello and welcome to another Gardens Wilt-Shire video. I'm your host Luke and this is probably a hobby vlog slash scenery tutorial. Not really sure what to call it as it's just the very early stages. So as you can see, there's a big square of foam in front of me. 6mm sort of underfloor insulation foam stuff. Nice high density. I'll zoom out if you just want to see purple. Zoom out a bit. So this is basically going to be a vlog of my attempt to build a board and scenery, mainly for the Marvel game. So this square here is 18 by 18 inches, and those of you who know the game will know that you need a 3 by 3 foot board to play, really. So my plan is to have 4 of these. I'm probably going to sort of carve out sort of roads and pathways and things like that and make it modular, so each bit can go in a different place and it'll sort of you can have a different sort of board every time you set it up. So over here I ordered 3 sheets of this stuff, so that should be more than enough to sort of create the board itself and then to do the terrain, and maybe I might do sort of raised pathways because it is relatively thin, 6mm. So if I sort of have another layer on top, so I'd have sort of a corner piece here that will be sort of the raised pathway, and then the middle bit be a road. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but this is sort of the intro clip for the video. What I'm doing next, I think, is I'll have the 4 squares cut out and more of an idea of what I'll do. So I'm thinking either just paint on a road or actually have the raised areas to put terrain on top of, and the roads will be as in going across like that. Not really sure yet, but next clip should have a bit more of an idea. So be back then, guys. And coming back in now to show you sort of a basic design, really. Not really much progress per se, but sort of a clear idea of what the plan is going forward for this board. So as you can see, there's other bits of foam, the main square I showed you before, as well as some MDF, some 9mm MDF that I cut yesterday. On top of that is the 18-inch squared piece of foam I showed you earlier. Then also these other cutouts, and basically these areas, nothing's glued down yet, just to let you know that it's allowed to move. But basically this is just sort of the raised bits will be the pathways and raised areas where any buildings that I make in the future will sort of stand, really. So this middle bit obviously is going to be the roads. It's a nice crossroad section here. If I show you sort of basic sort of design that I created, this is the whole 3 by 3 board, obviously 4 segments of 18-inch squared. This is the one that's in front of you, the crossroads, and as you can see they all sort of interlink, so that if I had the other squares set up, there would be an L-shaped road down here with a big raised pathway bit here. There'd be a T-junction coming off this one, and then just a straight road coming down along here. The good thing about this as well, I thought, is that it's all sort of modular. So if I wanted to have this bit turned out that way, that bit turned that way, and that bit go that way, it can be basically a different board every time. So I think that'll do for this clip of the vlog tutorial. I'm not really sure what to call it yet. I don't want to say tutorial just yet because I don't know how it's going to turn out. And if it's called tutorial, people are going to want to copy it. But I'm hoping it's going to turn out well. So I think the next bit will be to get all of the squares cut out, the 18-inch squared, glue them down to the MDF, and then put the raised edges bit on next. and then I can sort of work on sort of the finer details, so sanding down the foam so it's sort of rounded off, because it's a bit sort of blunt at the minute. I'd like it to look a bit more realistic with the sort of curved, slightly curved curbs, and then I'll come back in once all 4 of the segments there are assembled. And I am back, and as you can see, I've got my 4 boards done. Not completed obviously, but at a stage where I can sort of show you the general idea of things. So as you can see, I showed you the crossroads section before. So we got this bit being the actual road, and then we got these raised pathway areas, and we've got just a normal straight bit of road. We've got a T-junction, and then we just got sort of a turn in the road. So hopefully from this you can see sort of how modular it is. So if I wanted to swap these 2 around, I could. Obviously it depends on, so the end of the T-junction here, if this was on this bit, it would obviously have to be flipped round so it's going off the board edge and not going into nothing, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm very happy with how they look. I've had to move location just to try and get all the boards out. Unfortunately my dining table is just a little bit too small, so as you can see, just hangs over the edge a little bit, but it's sturdy enough on there that it's not gonna come off. So that'll be sort of the playing area. This is a huge step for me to getting some back reps out for you guys. I know we've got enough sort of SBG scenery and boards at Dowie's to do some back reps, but lacking in sort of the Marvel area. I'd like to get a back rep filmed as soon as possible, really. So yeah, what I'll probably do now is I need to go out to Wilko, one of our channel sponsors really. Dowie loves the stuff from there, so I'm going to go there and get some sort of tester paint pots as well, some greys, dark greys, light greys, maybe some sort of browns as well, just get the under the dirty effect sort of thing. So I'm thinking the road sections will be darker and the pavements will be a lighter grey, just so you got a bit of contrast in there and it makes it look more realistic and scenic. So hopefully that gives you more of an idea of what the plan is going forward, and I'll probably come back next when the boards have been painted and are sort of tabletop ready. So I'm coming in quickly now before the boards are painted just to show you a bit of extra detail I've decided to add. So as you can see, we have got a bit of damage to the streets. Not so much on that one, I've left that one to be for now. Over here we got some like little craters and some damage to the curbs. Also marked out the curbs as well and rounded them off with a bit of sandpaper just to make it a little bit more realistic and not so pointy edges and stuff. I'm hoping that when these get painted over with a bit of dry brushing and stuff, that they'll sort of really make the board have a bit of character and a bit more detail, rather than just having sort of the dark grey road and then the light grey path. I've got sort of the curbs to do a lighter grey as well, and then obviously the damage as well. So I thought I'd quickly come in and show you that, and now I'm going to try and get this board painted and I'll come back when they're all complete. And I'm back. Now I keep saying I'll come back when it's all finished, but I thought I'd just show you a quick bit of progress before I get everything sort of laid out when they're finished. So this is the first board piece I've done, so it's the crossroads. As you can see, they've got all the paint on and even the markings. And where the rubble is, it gives a nice effect as well. I'm really happy with these. The road markings, obviously not perfect. If I wanted to be meticulous about it, I would have got a ruler out, measured each individual marking, but this is all sort of freehand, and from a distance looks awesome. So now this will be the last clip before I show you the finished bit with all the other pieces as well, and I'll show you the 3x3 board at the end. But I thought I'd just quickly show you this. So this is the sort of colour scheme I'm going for. It was a darker black, but obviously I've dry brushed over with the lighter black for the roads. Light grey, even light grey for the curbs, and just white for the road markings. Gone for a sort of UK theme rather than US or mainland Europe, just because that's where I live, so it's what I know basically. So yeah, I'll come back now when the boards are finished and set up with hopefully some models on. And here we are, guys, the end of the board tutorial slash hobby vlog. Not really sure what it is yet, probably tutorial to be honest. But as you can see, all the board pieces are finished and they match up fairly well. This is just sort of a quick guide of how easy and cheaply you can create your own sort of board rather than buying sort of a mat and a table and then buying the scenery as well. So as you can see, you would have seen the crossroad bit there earlier in the video. We've also got a corner piece, just a straight road there, and then a T-junction over there. If I do a lot of pan shot, you'll see you've got some of the sort of damage taken to the board over in that corner as well, especially around here. And just to give a sort of sense of scale and things, I put some models down as well as some scenery I've been working on. So these were taken inspiration from Dowie's sort of ruined buildings vlog tutorial. This one's not quite finished, need to do some weathering on the floor pieces, but it's followed the same principle. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out if you like how these look. And I think this board is going to do absolutely fine for any future back rips we do. The plan is just to get some cars as well. I try to do it to scale so that certain cars will fit along the roads. I'll get some more buildings made, some ruined buildings, and I'll get some scattered terrain such as like stone barricades and sandbags and other stuff like that, just to give a bit more depth to the board and things that you can interact with. But I'm very happy with how this came out. I'm on a budget in a minute, and as a result this was just a project for me to show how easy it could be done. So with the MDF underneath, so this, the 9mm thick MDF, for the 4 pieces I've got, it probably cost around £4 or £5 to get these cut up for me. The foam, I bought 3 big sheets, that was £9, but for the amount that's on here, it's probably £2 at that, so that's nothing really. And just buying the paints as well, just buying the tester pots, so I've got probably 3 or 4 different shades, another £3 or £4. So all in all, this probably costs at maximum £15. If you're willing to put the time in, I don't see why anyone wouldn't do it. £15, you've got a board that you can alternate. It's modular, so you can change how the layout is, and I think it looks really, really cool. Obviously I based it on sort of the UK sort of road markings and the pavements, but if you're in the US or in Europe, you can design it however you want really. I tried to do it as well, so if I do buy any buildings or terrain, that they can fit on anywhere on the board. I think, looking at that with everyone there, it looks amazing. For what it costs to build and the time it took, if I had the time, I could probably get this done in 2 days, I think, cutting up all the foam and then just a day of painting really. Does not take too much effort. So that's it. If you've got any questions about the process, make sure you put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think of it. If I know it's not perfect, I could have put a bit more time in sort of matching up where the boards meet and sort of keeping the road marking straighter, but this is just a purely simple exercise, show you how quick and easy it can be done. The more time you put in, the better it's going to come out really. So yeah, that'll do for this tutorial on how to make a foam board for the Marvel and probably DC game as well. So yeah, make sure you comment, like, share and subscribe. Like our new Facebook page,
and we'll be back very soon.